Hello, and welcome to this latest episode of Coffee Table Reviews podcast. Today is a very special episode because I'm recording it with my dad here in New York City, and we are going to be talking about something that is very close to his heart and thereby close to my heart. A few weeks back, we watched the movie Shree at a film festival here in New York City. It was organized by the Asia Society as a part of their Parallel Cinema Film Festival. It was a tribute to Raj Kapoor and his most famous movie. There were a lot of people that had attended it, but what made it all the more special for me was that I got to watch it with my dad. Anyone who knows my dad knows that Raj Kapoor is his favorite actor and Shree is his favorite movie. We have grown up watching Shree and all of Raj Kapoor movies on VCR back when we were kids. But never in my wildest dreams had I imagined that I would be one day watching this very movie in New York City with my dad. But dreams, even if you don't imagine them, come true. It was also momentous because last December it was Raj Kapoor's 100th birth anniversary, and there were quite a lot of tributes that were paid to him by his family and everyone from the film community. And here we are recording this podcast after watching one of his most popular movies. So, Appa, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Before we begin, had you ever imagined that you would be watching with me Sri Charsabi's here in New York City of all places?
No, not at all. Not even in the wildest dream that I thought this would happen. But when it happened, it was really touching.
I can imagine. Yeah, it was very touching for me as well. So tell me, when I proposed this idea that there is a screening of Sri Charsabi's in New York City, and I asked you if you were interested in watching it, of course, the answer was yes. What did you expect? How did you imagine it to pan out?
Yeah. I was surprised. First thing is, I was surprised that in New York, that there are some people who are still willing to watch Raj Kapoor. Second, the choice of the film, Sri Charsabi's. I thought it must be purely an Indian affair with mostly people of my age coming there. Not more than maybe 50 to maximum 100 people.
Mm-hmm.
That's also the wildest guess that would be watching. But when I went there, it was altogether different situation. I was so pleasantly surprised to see so many young people, non-Indians, I can call them as, because I don't know from which all the continents they had come,
Right.
that they were there.
Absolutely. Also, we saw a lot of Indian origin kids who were probably college going or early in their professional careers, who seem to have been born and raised here and still watching this movie back from 1955, which was released in India, so far away from where they had been raised. Wasn't that a special feeling?
Yes, that is the vision. Not that the Raj Kapoor movies are popular, it is evident. But even now, after so many years, that this still attracts. And people of Indian origin, maybe the second, third, or fourth generation, whatever that you would like to call, are fascinated by it. Was something which made me very happy.
That's true. In fact, we remember that when we were in the queue going into the theater, there was this one person who probably was in his late teens or early 20s,
Yes.
and was talking about the movie Awaara.
Yes.
Right.
Awaara, in fact, Aniket, Awaara was the one movie which really made waves outside India.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, especially the earlier Soviet Union,
Mm-hmm.
what even for today's Hungary, Budapest, and all put together. In Pakistan, it made a very big show. So Awaara was the one. Even China, people still sing the Awaara tune.
Mm-hmm.
So Awaara really brought Raj Kapoor to the international stage and Indian cinema.
Right.
So therefore, the people were discussing about Awaara connecting with Raj Kapoor.
Mm-hmm.
Was something really good.
Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, we need to still watch Awaara again. I guess I must have watched it as a kid, but I don't remember a lot of it. But after the screening and the conversations around Awaara, I'm really intrigued to watch that movie and as an adult have my own opinion and views on that movie.
Yes. Yeah, Awaara, yes. Because there is a conflict. The poverty will make a man a criminal or vagabond. Awaara is nothing but a vagabond. Is it the gharana, the lineage, or is it the social circumstances that makes man what he is?
Right.
There is this conflict. That there is a judge who says that it is gharana. You are coming from a good family and you will be always a good person. And all these vagabonds are because they come from a very low family.
Right.
That's the complaint. You must watch.
Yes.
Must watch, and especially the music. Amazing music.
Yeah. Most of the songs are even popular to this day.
The other day I was just watching, I think the president of one of the East European countries, he's dancing with his wife, humming that tune.
Right. Yeah. We've heard multiple versions of it being played by the leaders of so many countries from former Soviet Union and Eastern European. So that shows the kind of impact that Raj Kapoor had, not just in India and the subcontinent, but you know, all over the world.
Yes. Because the storyline or the philosophy of Raj Kapoor has been so refreshing and even relevant. I think let me spend a minute on that. Why I consider Raj Kapoor to be a great showman.
Right.
See, these movies are all, they were soon after the independence.
Right.
I think 55. The two thoughts were going on parallelly in those days in the movies. The one school of thought launched by Raj Kapoor and others is that yes, we have just come off from got our independence, came out of slavery, we have challenges, but there is a hope.
Right.
We have a lot of things which are not right for us, but I think independence is going to bring hope. And the other school of people, especially by Satyajit Ray and others, who showed the poverty, illiteracy, superstition about our country, and they made money. In fact, it's not my words, the word of Nargis,
Right.
who says that Satyajit Ray made money by showing poverty of India.
Yes.
So this is the conflict that was there in those days.
In fact, there is the latest term for it is called as poverty porn, where you are just exploiting the poverty in your medium to just make money. Like Slumdog Millionaire was one of the examples, which was highly criticized within India and the subcontinent for showing poverty in its most extrapolated way, just to make the point and make more money out of it for the Western audience. Right? So I think Satyajit Ray was probably of that stream of thought.
The artistic value,
Yeah.
the way he made cinematography, it's nothing.
Yeah.
The hats off for that man.
Yeah.
The way, but the subject, the theme he chose and propagated,
Yeah.
I have a difference with him.
That's true. And we've heard that since beginning. And to this day, I haven't watched a Satyajit Ray movie, but I do want to watch it and have my own say and opinion. There is always critique is always good, even for the best of the people who have made some of the best masterpieces of this world. So coming back to Shree Charsubi's, do you remember the first time you watched the movie?
Yeah, distinctly. In fact, the day you told me that you are going to see Shree for Charsubi's again, I went back into my childhood days. One of the things I would like to tell to younger audience is that watching a movie over and over again, which you have watched many years back, it's not just watching. You start reliving those days which passed by.
True.
Even when you take a book, you start reliving the day when you first time that had this book, you were cozying up somewhere, you started reading, the emotion that came to you, all those things. So also this movie brought all those emotions back to me. In fact, I saw this in Mysore. In those days, in Mysore, there was on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, an additional show was shown in the movie theaters.
Okay.
This was called the morning show. And it had a concessional fare for those 3 days.
Okay.
So it started with 40 paise in the front of the screen, 63 paise in the back, and the balcony had 110 paise. There is 1 rupee 10 paise. And 40 paise was something that we normally had that money. And the timing was really good. It was 10:30 in the morning, and the film used to be over by 1:30. So there was no way my parents or anybody knowing that I had gone for a movie. It was a Sunday. I had to do my breakfast and just go out, come back for a lunch normally. And therefore, and 40 paise was something which me and my friends used to have. And therefore, this is we saw. I think I saw this in Lakshmi Theatre in Mysore. Nice. I don't know whether that theatre still exists. Okay. But I saw there. I was fascinated that day. I continue to be fascinated this day.
Yeah. Another interesting thing that you've mentioned in the past to me, and you know, coincidentally become a trend now, is the re-release of the movies, right? Because when Shree is released, probably you were too small to, having memories of watching it. I guess you watched it properly when it was re-released, and that was a normal trend back then, right?
Obviously, this was a re-release because this movie came in 55 when I was a very small kid. I would have seen this. When I came to college, then it came as a re-release. But now this trend is coming because a whole generation has gone. And therefore, and maybe they are now digitized and the effect is better, the quality is better.
Yeah.
And sometimes they are made to color.
Yeah.
So that's also there.
Right.
So that adds. And new generation, new thought. And therefore, you would want to really compare what is now and what was then.
Absolutely.
Yeah, even just looking at Bombay that existed, right?
Yeah.
Makes you so happy.
Yes. That it's almost like a time capsule.
Yeah.
Where you're capturing the time of that period in those movies for the future generations to see and imagine how life was back then.
Yeah.
This was just after independence, as you said.
Yes.
So someone like us would be so curious of how life was. How did people look like? How did they dress? What was their means of transport? How big were their buildings or their houses? So all of that can be seen in this movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. So over a period of almost close to 60 years, you've been watching this movie. And
another thing that I would like to tell you, not only Raj Kapoor in those days, take for example Shantaram, V. Shantaram. He produced a movie called Do Anke Bara Hath.
Okay.
It was about reformation of the criminals who have been put into the jail for many years for heinous crime. There is a hope for them.
Right.
There is a possibility of reformation. And that's how that Do Anke Bara Hath came. A little later, Raj Kapoor's another movie called Boot Polish.
Right.
So in that he has just a one simple scene.
Yeah.
But it was produced by Raj Kapoor.
Right.
Children were abandoned. What we call as anath. Now those two children, they feel begging is an insult. And they would like to do something of their own.
Right.
A boot polish is a way of liberty.
Right.
Than begging. And that wonderful movie.
Yeah.
That or Barsat is one of the movies on which he started off well. Barsat. The conflict between the love, pure love that exists in the hill stations and the artificial love that exists in the cities. Beautifully
Right.
Barsat.
Yeah.
So these were the things which fascinated.
Right. Yeah. And it's great just to see the kind of themes that existed back then and how those themes have evolved over a period of time. Like 70s was all about mafia, smuggling. 80s was all about action. 90s we had romance and
romance came back with
exactly. And 60s was all about style and suave with Shami Kapoor, Devanand, and Raj Kapoor flourishing. But 50s was all about liberation, about independence, about now we are independent, but we are poor. How do we tailor our careers or path forward as a new country?
That's
Yeah. So
another interesting thing of that year, which today's people may today business to be a businessman, to be in corporate, to be something to do with business is considered to be a great pride. You all take pride in calling it startups, started a businesses today is a almost getting a recognition. Yeah. But in 50s and 60s and 70s, the villain was always a zamindar or a businessman. That's true. Yeah. The thing was that if you are a businessman, you necessarily have to be corrupt. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you are a zamindar, you should be very, very cruel. Right. So that's the socialistic era we had. Yes. This film, Raj Kapoor's 3420, also was written by K.A. Abbas. Mm-hmm. These ideas. Mm-hmm. So you got all the socialistic thoughts into that movie. Yeah. I think, as you said, that gave hope to people because at that point of time, it was all about saying that it's not your fault if you're poor, but it's in your hands how you want to take your future forward. Yeah. Like as you said in boot polish, better than begging is to do some sort of work, even if it is polishing shoes of people. And I remember a distinct scene in that where when they are very hungry and some rich person throws a coin at them, they are in a dilemma. Should I pick the coin or not? So the future is in your hands. Yeah, and that's instead of propagating helplessness, it's propagating hope and aspiration. Yeah. Right. And as you said, over the period of time, aspiration has taken over, and that's why businessmen, successful people are not demonized; they are celebrated, and that's how it has. In fact, they are now today called as the wealth creators. Yeah. And every country is trying to move them. Yeah. Including India. True. So coming back to Sri Charsubis again, I know many times you've said that Sri Charsubis is like a complete movie for you. Do you want to elaborate and tell me about it? See, Sri Charsubis is a movie which has got all good elements. It has got a good storyline. Mm-hmm. Got a good acting. At the end is a hope. Mm-hmm. Music has been extremely. Even now, people hum about this music. Yeah. And even the storyline of coming out of poverty, coming out of difficulties, that one has to stand on one's own leg, that education is an emancipator from many ills, that is even still relevant. Yeah. And therefore, I consider Sri Jasabis as a complete movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In fact, you talk a lot about the team that Raj Kapoor formed. Correct. Right? You talked about the music, the story. He himself was the producer, director. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your perspective of how having a team of people who he can work with, made that big difference. One of the strength of Raj Kapoor was he had a team always with him. He didn't compose music at the beginning of a movie. Many a times the music or songs composed somewhere else were used whenever the latest movie came. And therefore you might even know the tunes. In Chasobis, there is a tune which later came in Jis Desh Mein Ganga Bahti Hai. O Basanti Pavan Pagal. The tune in between, the tune is there. Right. O Basanti Pavan Pagal. That came later in Jis Desh Mein Ganga Bahti Hai. This way that they were working on the music. First thing, let me tell you, Raj Kapoor's eye for identifying talent. When he was working with Prithvi Theatres, right. Shankar was a tabla and other harmonium, that type of a person. He identified him. And he said, Shankar, next film when I make, will you be my music director? And he said, I have a dost of Mera, Jai Kishan. He's very good with accordion and western music. Can I team with him? And that's how in 1949, Shankar and Jai Kishan became their team. And they give a masterpiece, Prasad. Oh, interesting. Wow. And since then, they have given wonderful, they are one of my favorites. Yeah. Yeah. Even in this movie, Sri Chasobis, you can see Jai Kishan, that Nadira's Maya's, Maya's lover or daughter, his husband, Johnny, get up, Johnny. He said, that is Jai Kishan. Such a handsome guy. Yeah, very handsome. Yes, very handsome. Or even in Barsat, the story writer is Ramanand Sagar, who later made Ramayana. Wow. That's amazing. He was the story writer whom he brought to these things. Why even Shailin, who wrote one of the songs for Barsat, very interesting story. Shailendra came from somewhere Rajasthan and that area, Uttar Pradesh and just that area, to Bombay as a clerk in the railway department. But he had a fascination for poetry, so he used to come for that poets conferences and then put his shairi, put his songs into the thing that was Kavi Sammelan, called as. And Raj Kapoor used to attend Kavi Sammelan. Okay. Because he had the fascination for words. There they met each other. And then he said, why don't you write some songs for movies? And you know what Shailendra said? No, I don't do such dirty job. It's not a respectable job for a poet to write lyrics for a movie. Right. But they exchanged the visiting cards. Some time passed by. Shailendra was in need of some money because his mother was ill. So he came to Raj Kapoor, and in those days, 1949, 48, 49, he asked for 500 rupees. And Raj Kapoor immediately gave him that money. And after some days, Shailendra came back to return the money. Raj Kapoor said, look, I did not do a money transaction. You were in need of my help, I helped you. I'm in need of your help, you help me. And what is the help? I'm doing a movie called Barsat. Why don't you write lyrics for it? Now you are caught. Yes. Then he wrote the title song, Barsat mein hum tumse mile hum, sajan tumse mile hum. And that's how they became. So Hazrat Jaipuri, Shailendra as lyricist, Shankar Jaikishan as a music director, Raj Kapoor as a binding force. That created a history. Yeah. And we can't forget the singers, Manna Dey and Mukesh. Of course, they were already famous, Lata Mangeshkar and others were, and they have, but the team. Yeah. These four people, they stuck together, or five people, I should say. Right. And Raj Kapoor being there, they stuck together. Raj Kapoor was so loyal to them and vice versa as well that they always were a team till the time they were alive and they could make movies and they continued their work. Yeah. In fact, when Mukesh passed away, yes, Raj Kapoor said something amazing, right? I mean, my voice is gone. Yeah, मैं गूंगा हो गया. My voice is gone. Yeah. So that's the kind of affection and camaraderie that they had among them. You asked me another question as to why I feel Sri Chansab is so favorite of mine. Yeah. There is a notion that people cannot be happy unless they have got money. Or money is the means of getting happiness. Right. This is negated by Raj Kapoor. Raj Kapoor says there is no link between wealth and happiness. You can be very happy even when you are poor. Right. And being a rich is no guarantee that you will be happy. See in the Chassobis that where he comes for the first time to sit there on the pavement and he's protested. He says this place is such because from the Sonachand Dharmanand's palace, the sweet smell of his food comes every day. So this is very. And yet then the Ichak Dana, Bichak Dana, that song, and how happy they are. Right. They are on the streets. Correct. And just 10 steps ahead is Sonachand Dharmanand in a big palace. He has got everything, but is unhappy. Right. So this contrast, there is a life. Or even when he shot the movie, that there is love and life, something which is humane, even in Dakos. In the 60s and these, the Chambal, the Dakos of the Chambal were a big threat of what today's Naxalites are for. Right. And many governments were helpless to control them. At that part of time, he came with this, make criminals to take them into main streets. Because that's the human side to even that. Right. So such things is what makes so Chasolis. Yeah. And educated people want to lead a normal, good life. Society should allow that. You have seen that scene when They meet Nargis and Raj Kapoor for chai. He doesn't have money. He said, "मेरे पास 100 रुपए है, छोटे पैसे नहीं है." Then the dialogue is the same thing. Is it not possible that in this, that husband and wife, people who love each other can become husband and wife?
Yeah.
Can they not lead a normal life? Then she says, alone may not be, together we can be. And then they have Pyar Hua, Ikrar Hua, that song that comes. Is it not relevant today, Aniket?
Yeah.
Today, with all these things, ultimately we feel with our education, with our job, with our small business, can we not lead a normal life?
Yeah.
And today,
Purpose.
Purpose, yes. Without being 400 BC.
Yeah.
And therefore, I must tell you, because for your audience, why the 400 BC came.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah. See, in the Indian Penal Code, there is a section 420, which deals with cheating. So when you cheat someone with an intent, criminal intent to defraud, then it is called cheating.
Yeah.
And therefore, anybody who does it is a 400 BC. And the act is 400 BC.
Right.
You know, that she asked, do you want your children to be known as children of 400 BC? So that really touches me. That's the turning point.
Right.
In that movie, that is the turning point.
Right.
So this is how this 400 BC came into.
Another observation from you was right in the first scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. There is one car goes, they say that you are a 400 BC, and then that Sonam Dharmanand removes him from the car. And then the car passes. अगर मैं 400 BC हूँ तो आप and he just said that there is 840 is the number of the vehicle.
Right. Like a double charge.
Yes, double 400. Such the small, that they made.
In fact, there are so many references to 420 when he looks at the signboards of which way to go to Bombay.
Yeah, Bombay, 420.
Again, that was 420.
Yeah.
To almost imply that
420 miles.
you need to be a 4.
Bombay.
That is the message Raj Kapoor takes
Yes.
from all those early experiences of getting to Bombay from Varanasi, where he was an orphan. He got his degree, but in search of job.
Not only he got a degree, but he got a gold medal for being honest.
And ironically, he is on the path to become a 420.
Yes.
And even the movie name, which is like ironic, which is like Shree, which is
respect and Shree. Not only in the last he says, don't call them 420, call them a Shree 420.
Yeah. So all of these small nuggets of how it is woven in the story is all amazing.
In fact, when we went to that movie in New York, you could see that these small things also people knew. You know, people had a laughter at the 840.
Yes.
You could see that, so that they knew about this.
True. And also talking about the legendary pair of Nargis and Raj Kapoor, it was first of all very refreshing. We saw a couple of movies recently. One was, I think, Mera Saya, where I saw the title credits and Sadhna was the first name that appears. Even in this movie, I saw that Nargis was the first name that appeared, followed by Nadira, and then it said, and Raj Kapoor. So that is the kind of stature they had, and also the respect that they had for the female leads. And even in the movie, I see that she almost acts like the conscience of Raj Kapoor, and who draws him back to the more honest and a more respected world from getting drifted away. But in general, the pair itself is legendary. We have heard so many stories. Anything you want to
in fact,
add about it?
They were in... See, in those days, people used to act 1 or 2 films in a year. So whole time they were devoted, unlike the others now that they had no extra shift or anything like that. And the films used to take 2 years, 3 years in making. So that bond between hero and heroine became natural, not only on the screen, it became natural. And Nargis was truly in love with Raj Kapoor. But by the time he came to film, Raj Kapoor was already married, he had children. You see those children in Pyar Hua, Ikrar Hua, Hum Na Rahenge, Tum Na Rahenge, Phir Bhi Rahenge, Nishaniyan. And then these were the 3 children of Raj Kapoor. So there was no possibility of they being life partners together. And by the time, Awaara was the one where they became very, very close to each other. By the time they came to Sri Chasulis, they almost decided that they may have to separate. So afterwards, they didn't do. In fact, this is one of the last major film that they did. The film that came later, again of Raj Kapoor, called Jaagte Raho, the story of one night. What happens in one night in a chawl in Bombay. Yes. And in the morning, he comes and takes the water which was given by Nargis. Jago Mohan Pyare is the song. That was the last song that they had together. But amazing.
Yeah, but Nargis herself was such an accomplished actress, and her role in Mother India
Mother India.
was celebrated.
Legend.
Yeah, and as you said, she was an open critic of works of Satyajit Ray, who was celebrated all over the world.
It was difficult in those days
Yeah.
to criticize Satyajit Ray.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was a sort of a person who had the intellectual, uh, the entire thing was behind him.
Absolutely.
The intelligentsia of the entire country
Yeah.
was behind Satyajit Ray.
So all of these make this movie not just like a movie, it's, as I say, a time capsule, capturing the essence of life back then, including the leads, what they portray on screen, what happened off screen, how the magic was created in a way. I think,
in fact, in that Pyar Hua, Ikrar Hua, they even have that umbrella and they both have a seat to each other. That symbolizes the love between Raj Kapoor and Nargis. And I'm told that that year the sale of umbrellas went up phenomenally because everyone wanted to have an umbrella, whether it is raining or not.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
that symbolizes.
Yeah. And I also remember that you told me a story about the song Ramaya Vastavai.
Ramaya. Yes, Aniket. I must tell you about that song. Many of these things were shot in Lonavala. And Raj Kapoor, Shankar Jaikishan and Shailendra, Hazrat Jaipur, they used to go in one car to be there. And on the way, they used to stop at one dhaba. Normally happens when you like some dhaba, then normally you go there. And the server also becomes so buddy to you.
Yeah.
There was one Telugu server by name Ramaya.
Okay.
And Shankar came from Hyderabad, so he knew Telugu.
Okay.
So he used to call him, Ramaya. So then he used to say that, coming, sir, I'll come in, coming, sir. In Telugu, he used to say, Vastavaya, I'll come.
Okay.
So many times it happened, he used to go sit, he said Ramaya, and he used to say Vastavaya. Yeah. So later, people started copying it, almost like that. As soon as he said, now Ramaya, then Shailendra said, now what will happen? Now they'll say Ramaya, and he says Vastavaya, Ramaya, Vastavaya. Then he will say, Maine dil tujhko diya. That was caught by Shankar and Jaikishan. He said that you make a. Then Shankar started on the table making a tune. Ramaya, Vastavaya. The tune also was composed within the time that got the child, and that was used. There was a debate to have Ramaya, Vastavaya is a Telugu word. Right. Should it be substituted by a Hindi word? Right. So that people may understand. Yeah. Vastavaya, people may not understand. Absolutely. So they use various other words, Shailendra with his mastery of words, right? But then ultimately he said, no, use that word Vastavaya. Yeah. People will understand. Right. And not only it becomes pan-Indian.
True. I was like wondering, I've not heard the word Vastavaya in Hindi, and that there is no Telugu speaking person portrayed in the movie. And still they had the song and still become such a massive hit. So that's the kind of magic that they're able to create with the team that they have. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all the topics that I wanted to discuss with you about. I know some of these things we've discussed multiple times over the years, over decades, but I think that this should go out there to all the people of my generation, younger generation. As you said, we were so happy to see younger generation of Indian American kids watching the movie and showing interest in Raj Kapoor and in Indian cinema from the 50s. And this is our bit to just pass it on to the future generation.
That's true. And it's my earnest request to all the people of my generation or even Aniket generation, please make it a point to show this movie Sri 420 to your children and explain them the final aspect. It's not easy, but it's worth taking a trial. Absolutely. Yeah. Just basically recreate Aniket and Ashish's childhood where we used to get VCR. Now you can just watch the movies on YouTube or whichever platform it's available on. But they do have a great social message. It sets the tone for young minds to lead an honest and successful life, and they can go hand in hand. So I totally agree with you. So thank you, Appa. Yeah, this has been it has been dream come true. Watching the movie as well as doing this podcast. So and we also should thank that lady, that professor of Tejaswini. Anthropology. Yes, Tejaswini. She gave such a wonderful background, and that also created a context. Absolutely. Yeah. I think, if possible, send this podcast to her. Yeah. Yeah. I'll try to do that. Tejaswini did a wonderful job. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And please share this podcast with whoever you think would love this, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye bye.